3 short of 100. I always want, like when the intro goes on, people are coming in all the time, and 103 now. There we go. Okay, good evening, guys. Thank you for joining me here in not really sunny Bangkok, a bit of a rainy Bangkok, but good to be here anyway. And nice to see you guys in the stream already. Going to give a big shout out to everybody. And yeah, let's make it a good stream and just start saying hello to everybody. Jesse Hughes in first. How you doing there, Jesse? I don't know what's happened to Chris. He's normally in first. Maybe he's not going to be in the stream today, but good to see you in. Innovations, how you doing? Let me put that up. Somebody's giving me a super chat there before we even started. That's Macmillan Nurse 1. Hello, Peter. A few quid for a top man. Okay, where is he? The top man. When's he coming? Thanks anyway. Just joking. Anders Bergman. Hi. 2 from you there. I don't really do politics, okay, but I'll just say very quickly. You put, hey, Peter, can I ask you your opinion on our lovely Labour government? How do you think they're doing? Honestly speaking, they're about as much good as a ashtray on a motorbike, right? Or trapdoor in a canoe. As popular as a burning orphanage. What else? As popular as a fart in a spacesuit. I don't know. We could go on all day, but no, they're not very good, are they? Hey, then, thank you very much for that very generous donation to the channel. Hi, Pete. And all that is some stunning screen bait. You mean clickbait? You mean the picture of the girl, right? It's clickbait. Yeah. I often get people ask me, where do I get the images from for the thumbnails? Because you can't just go and pinch them, off Google, because people will grab you for copyrights. But my answer is always the same. I'm not going to tell you because they're great pictures and I don't want anybody else to use them. Being very selfish on them. Okay, Atal. Hi, Peter. Sorry, I'm going back a few regarding the toxic expats living here. I knew a guy who never stopped talking about money, but it was hard to part even though he was earning money from abroad. Yeah, that was that video I made. I got a bit of stick on that, actually. I made a video called 20 toxic expats you should stay away from. And all it was really is living here and spending time here over the years. I've met certain guys who you just don't really want to hang around with. They're just, you just don't want to be with them. They're sort of got something funny about them, and I listed them out, and people wrote to me and saying, oh, you probably don't have any friends then, or toxic expat number 21 should have been you, and all this sort of thing. And really all I was trying to do was not preach to anybody. I was just trying to saying, yeah, look out for these guys. But I suppose you could say the same for any country. There you are again. What you say now? Sorry, Peter, I'm going back a few weeks. Same comment. Okay. Right. Yeah. Have you met somebody toxic? Can you tell me about it? What did he do? Paul Hoskins, how you doing? Hey, then. I learned after my second. Let's put that there. I learned after my second trip to avoid getting involved with foreign visitors or even Thais, professional transactions aside, of course, and even 3 days max. Okay. So there's a lot of nice people here in Bangkok. I meet them all the time. They're not all that way. Let's just put up the rate. See, the pound's doing a little bit better on the where is it? Yeah, it's up to 44.04 now. The US dollar's down a little bit, 32.87 slightly. I mean, in fact, all the currencies apart from the Singapore dollar and the UK pound have actually dropped slightly against the baht. You can have a look at your currency there if it's on the list there. Okay, where were we? Okay, we'll put that up there. I agree with that. Martin Ryder, I sent you the article on the Hua Hin in the Daily Mail. The text is in the email. No need to sub to them all. Yeah, I got it, Martin. Thank you very much. Actually, another guy sent it as well. He took screenshots, but I think in all reality, yours is easier to read because it's the way you've formatted it out. I was getting ready for this, so I will have a good read of it tomorrow. That's an article that was in a UK newspaper called the Daily Mail, and it was talking about Hua Hin, and apparently it wasn't saying anything derogatory, but it was saying a lot of older guys go there to. It's easy for older guys to meet Thai girls. That's what it was basically saying. I haven't read it yet, so I will. D&E saying good evening to you. Shane, great to see you too. Barry Bluebird, good afternoon. Jim Hayes, good morning. How you doing, Jim? GC, hi all, love from Singapore. Yeah, we get a few in from Singapore. Nice to see you in GC. Just say hi to Dutch Farang there. Been a member for 16 months. Thank you very much, Dutch Farang. If it's the real Dutch Farang. Do you remember all that? I had a couple of homemade beef burgers for dinner today. I make my own burgers. I put a little post up on Facebook. But the problem is I made them a little bit too salty, so I'm probably going to get through that litre again. Dog, hi Peter. Hope this time you won't be exhausted. Yeah, I really was. I couldn't do the member stream last week. I think I got a few members unsubscribed, but if you're real, aren't you? I'll be doing it tonight though. Okay, that's long enough. Let's get rid of that. I'll tell you, I put a little bit of weight back on again. You know, I lost quite a bit of weight, about 11 kilos. I put about 3 back on. And you can tell because, look, I bought this shirt when I'd lost the 11 kilos. I'm not back up to what I was. I've only put about 2 or 3 kilos on. And I am walking every day and I'm trying to reduce my food in the evenings and stuff. But you can see that, you know, I should have that open, shouldn't I? But that's better. You know, it's just pulling it because I put the weight on. Right. Thank you very much, Michael. It was good to see you in Det 5 again. And yeah, we had a nice little lunch again. And thanks for the super chat as always. Have a couple of pints from Darren and me at Det 5. Okay, thanks. I actually go over to the Red Lion now because they do a happy hour on a Monday all night. It's 99 baht for you can get like a pint of Leo, pint of Tiger, Chang, whatever. And on a regular day, on a weekday, it's I think it's 7 o'clock they do it too. So I don't normally eat over there now, but I do enjoy a drink over there. And thanks for that, Michael. Is that Vidar? I hope I haven't screwed your name up there. Vidar, how you doing? Nice to see you in. Grant, there's local trains to Chatham and Hua Hin. Okay. Thomas, how you doing? Mr. Hua Hin himself there. Hi, Peter and everyone. Thanks for the Nat and Dave short. Yeah, welcome. Be happy, Pat. How you doing? Hey, Peter, you giving 4 hours to the members and 25 minutes to the others? No, not at all. It's exact. I start at 8 and finish this one at 9:30. So that's an hour and a half, isn't it? And then I start at 9:45 and finish at 11. So this one's an hour and a half, and the members is 115. I had a guy have a go at me in the week. He wrote to me because, you know, with the members get early release. So in other words, the stories that I release on a Saturday, I release them to members on a Tuesday because they're paying a couple of $100 each month, so they've got to get something right. So somebody wrote a comment, said, "Oh, this is absolute shite. I'm not paying for this, and I'm unsubscribing because only members can watch it." And it was total nonsense because everybody gets to watch the story videos. It's just that the the members get to watch it on a Tuesday. I missed that message there, Michael. You said, "Good morning from the City of Angels. Have a great live stream." Thank you, Michael. Hobson's Choice, gone backwards now. Good evening, Peter and all. Back to rain in noisy Bangkok after 3 days in Pattaya. Only a bit of rain there. Was pretty quiet there. Successfully got extension done thanks to a good team of people. That's great. How long are you here for, Hobson's Choice? Presuming you want to meet up, because I'm busy tomorrow, but I could do lunch on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday if you're still around. I understand if you're busy or you want to do your own thing. Don't worry about it. No problem. But if you did want to meet up, let me know. And I'm not far from Nana Station if you can get there around there sometime. Grant, hello from down under. Ryan, hello, everyone. 223 days until I leave. Okay. Quite a way off then, isn't it? Right, okay, let's get down to some of these newer ones. Where we're Rocking G-Man, just finished that cartoon, incredible. The reason I relaunched the Nat and Dave cartoon, I did an intro, but most people probably skipped it, was because it came out 3 years ago, and it was very, very good. I didn't make it. My friend Simon made it, the Nat and Dave. And there's a lot of people. I had about 25,000 subscribers back then. And what happens is YouTube stopped throwing up the older videos suggested them. And I've now got 71,000 subscribers. So I thought, well, there must be, 20, 30,000 subscribers who's never seen it. So I launched it again. And yeah, it did very well again. It was very, very clever. Ronald, hello from Perth. How you doing, Ronald? Is that Gandalf? Yo, hello. How you doing? Steve Arno 100. Hello, Peter. You're doing great work. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate that. Swedish Globetrotter. Cheers all. Jim, how you doing? Arthritis Jim. Evening, Pete, and all from Manila. You should be coming back fairly soon again, I should think. Tada, the man who sends me more emails than anybody else. Always good to read them. Not sure what that says there. It's Japanese, isn't it? I won't try and pronounce it. Andrew, how you doing? Nice to see you in. Always nice to see your comments on my Facebook page. Hi there, Peter. I hope you're well. We need rain here in the UK. Last time it rained here in southern England was back in March. It'll be hose pipes and droughts again, wasn't it? I remember around 1976, when I was growing up in the UK, the drought was so bad that they actually cut the water supply off to all the houses. And what we had to do, or my parents did, was you had to take no plastic in those days. Well, it probably was, but most people had tin buckets, metal buckets. And what would happen is they had one temporary tap on each street, and you had to go and line up and fill a bucket of water, and that's all you could have. You couldn't wash or anything because it was so bad in the UK. It's the opposite here in Thailand. It's raining every day. It doesn't rain all day, but it does rain a fair bit when it does rain. which is a pain when you're in the middle of a walk in the park or something like that. Delayed Dave, afternoon. How you doing? Damien, nice to see you in. Wasn't sure if you would be in. Everything, Peter, noticed a few different purple crowns, 1, 2, and yeah. Does anybody know what they are? When you look at the comments, there's like, I haven't seen them before. There's like a crown next to some of the comments, and I don't know what they mean. If anybody does, let us know. Share your knowledge, as it were. It's up to you. How you doing? Well, you say late in today. I've only been going a few minutes, just over 10 minutes, I think 12 minutes. Yeah. Charles Saunders, how are you? Ronald Macmillan, you think the previous government was any better? Okay, let's not do politics, guys. Master of Sin, hi, Peter Bergerman. Yeah, hence the pulling button. Rooster Guy, best advice for a single man coming over for the first time. Are you asking me what's the best advice? I can tell you. Keep your hand on your wallet for a start. Who's that? Is that Franco texted me? Let's have a quick look. No. Right. Rooster. Right. Who's this? Breath of Paradise Pattaya. Okay. Hi, Peter. Great video of Hua Hin. I'm interested in going there myself. The thing with Hua Hin is it's completely different to Pattaya. And I know guys who have gone down there and said, oh, it's too boring in Hua Hin. But it's a nice place. And they do have a little bit of what Pattaya has, if you know what I mean. I've made up my mind now. As I said in that video, I'm getting out of Bangkok. Probably I'm going to wait till low season after the new year. So we've got high season is October, November, December. And then it starts to tail off towards the end of January. Then we get into low season, start of February. And I think I'm going to go down to Hua Hin for a month. I might have to take a month off YouTube just to get sorted out because it's a major move. You know, I've been uploading videos twice a week and doing live streams every, a couple of months. I used to do them every week, twice a week, actually, the live streams for incredibly 5 years now. And, to give up this place and arrange a truck and go down there and find a place to live and do it all out. I think I'm literally going to have to take at least a couple of weeks off YouTube. And I think there's only once in 5 years that I've missed a Saturday with the stories because I had a really bad flu or something like that. But I'll let you know nearer the time. It's a long way off yet, isn't it? About 7-8 months. Hobson's Choice. Some of the prices quoted for activities were stupid. Yes, it's low season and rain, but okay. Yeah, that's another thing I like about Hua Hin. I'm just going to save an incredible amount of money down there. I pay 21,000 for my apartment here, which is very nice. 51 square meters, balcony, nice solid wooden floor, nice thick walls, older building. And but I can get a villa in Hua Hin for 20,000. Okay, not right in the center, but I've got a scooter, I've got a car, and I'll probably get another dog. To be honest with you, I wouldn't mind getting another dog. And the prices are just incredible. You go for I went to the night market every night for dinner. That's where they have the live band and the dancing girls and stuff. You're talking 70 baht for a dish. Now there are going to be guys leave comments after the streams finish saying I eat for pad thai for 50 baht every night at my local, and yeah, we get that. But the thing is, you're talking about free entertainment. So you've got a live band all night. You've got 12 girls who are dancing in the sexy gear, doing the traditional, not traditional, but, the dance they do. That's free. And you've got all the food outlets on the outside. So 70 baht for a dish is pretty good. 65 baht for a large chang. And it's a nice evening out, whereas if I go to even a reasonably priced Thai restaurant here in Bangkok, if I'm with somebody else, I'm looking at 600 baht. It's just I'm hoping to save a lot of money down there. Not because I'm being tight. I just blow too much living here in Bangkok. Paul G Eats, how you doing? Wacko Wambo, is it? Where do you think most viewers are located? Well, I know where they're located because I've got stats in the back of YouTube. We all have. So there's actually the front end of YouTube, but we've got a back end and we can go in and look at how much each video made, which videos were successful, who's watching. And my biggest audience is in America. My second biggest audience is the UK. And believe it or not, my third biggest audience is actually here in Thailand, which is surprising. And then it runs down Australia and various other countries then. But yeah, America, which is no surprise, being a bigger country. Well, it's not bigger than Australia, is it? Have a lot of Australians watching. Christopher Tate, hi Peter, I hope you're well and have had a good week. Great to be in another live. Yeah, good to see you in here, Chris. Right, Martin, lovely picture there. Top tip, I get around paywalls such as the Daily Mail, Telegraph, etc., is to use a browser extension called Pocket. I did have another look at that, Martin, and I got to have another look at it because it's good. Yeah, I mean, I do read the Daily Mail. will it work on a phone as well, or just on a PC? Bernie, hi from Pizza Italy in Pattaya. I was out with Bernie last couple of nights. Bernie's a rice exporter from South Africa, and when he comes here, we normally go for a meal, and we went for a red hot curry yesterday. A day before, we went to the new Bakara for a curry, which he thoroughly enjoyed, and I did too. And we were in the Red Lion last night. I was drinking pints of Tiger, and Bernie was on the coffee. So good on you, Bernie. I'll see you when you come back. Paul, do you ever go to any go-go bars now that you live here? I'll be honest with you, Paul. No, I don't. There's a couple of reasons. One, they're so expensive now, especially in Bangkok. You're looking at actually, I went to one 3 nights ago. Funny enough, you should say that. A friend wanted to meet me, and he's younger than me, and he wanted me to go over to this go-go bar. And I had one drink in there. That was it, because I had to meet him about something. The ladies' drink that he bought, a ladies' drink, and it was let me just get it right, because I don't want to get it wrong now. He bought one ladies' drink, and it was 280 baht for the ladies' drink. Okay, it's just so goddamn expensive now. When I used to go to go-go bars 20 odd years ago, they were cheap. They were really cheap. You got value for money, but they just take the mickey now, especially here in Bangkok. They're just so incredibly expensive. The drinks, the girls, everything. And not only that, I've grown out of it. I did it for years. It used to be exciting. I used to go out every night to Nana or Cowboy, or down to Pattaya for the weekend. And it's just grown. It's just grown. No, I mean, it just doesn't do anything for me now anymore. Christian Rainstorm, what a name. How are you doing? Ronald, is it rainy season only once a year? I remember your shorts from last year when it rained. Time flies. Yeah, I mean, the rainy season, basically, it's a little bit early this year. It's not usually this early, but it normally goes through till about the beginning of October. But the good news, it doesn't rain all day and night. When the skies open up, I mean, it absolutely floods the soils. They're like rivers. Sometimes it'll rain for half an hour like it did yesterday. Sometimes it'll rain for a couple of hours. I mean, you just got to, you carry an umbrella, and you have one of those plastic ponchos in your back pocket. It's annoying when it comes, but if you're here, you're not going to lock yourself up in your room, are you? Swedish Globetrotter, how are you doing? Thank you for that 20 sec. I'll do the thank you for the compliment there. I'll do the the conversion later. Thanks. Baron Badger, hi Peter. Do you notice the weight impacting your blood pressure? My blood pressure is pretty good at the moment. When I was 100 and how much was I? 108 kilos. It was about 145 over 100, which is quite high, isn't it? And funny enough, I have got a blood pressure measuring machine. I don't do it every day, but the last time I did it, it was 125 over 88, which isn't bad. So yeah, I mean, the weight does greatly affect your blood pressure and a lot of other things as well. And I do make a big effort. Like last week, I had a sandwich at 11 o'clock at night. So I fasted the following day. Normally I fast anyway. I don't eat breakfast. So what I'll do is, my routine is I'll have a meal about 6 o'clock. I'll cook it at 6, or I'm out at 6, and then I won't eat until 1 o'clock the next day. So I've got that 16-hour window where I don't eat. But sometimes, I have a few beers and I get the munchies, and I made myself a cheese sandwich, toasty, about an hour before I went to bed. Woke up guilty, and so I missed out on lunch. So what I did is I woke up in the morning, like today, for instance, I fasted. I woke up in the morning, I didn't eat all day. I went to Benji Kitty Park, did 5 miles walking, came back, and I made 2 homemade burgers. And I won't eat now until tomorrow, probably about 1 o'clock. Baron Badger, hi Peter, do you know? Oh, I've just read that. Hobson's Choice. Oh, you live here, do you? Be nice to meet up sometime, Hobson's Choice. Wednesday, Thursday, lunchtime. Okay, look, let me put my email address up there, and drop me an email and say it's Hobson's Choice. That won't be your real name, will it? And then I'll get back to you. I'll send you my line, and then we can communicate better, okay? You can freeze frame that and go back. Paul G. Eats, top commentators. Not sure what you mean by that, Paul. Martin, the crowns are for. I'll say, Paul, I see what you mean now. Top commentators. So the crowns are for people who comment more than anybody else. Okay. Martin says the crowns are for top dogs, I guess. Yeah. So I think what it is, if somebody leaves lots of comments on lots of videos, they get the crown because they're top contributors. Alan, hi Peter. My girlfriend got knocked back for Aussie visitor visa. They said not enough money in her account. I've got. That's very, very disappointing, isn't it? Because you were probably looking forward to taking her back to Australia. And, what you'll have to do is just, they must have given you a minimum, is try again and put that minimum in there. Make sure it's in there for however long they say. Have another go. What else can you do? It's disappointing, isn't it? Alan, Hi, Peter. Okay, I've just read that out. Okay, everyone's saying the same now. The crowns mean the most commons, Martin says as well. Ned Smith, what's it like living in the northern part of Thailand compared to Bangkok? Your opinion, please, Peter. It's been, well, I lived in Khon Kaen for 2 years, and I left there in about 1997. So it will have changed a hell of a lot now. But even going back there when I was in Khon Kaen, the main difference is really for me, it's obviously it's not as crowded as Bangkok. You don't really have the traffic like Bangkok. But again, I don't know now because it was so long ago. Maybe somebody else can leave a comment and let you know. Neil, here in Pattaya, a big chunk of concrete fell off the building next to my condo. I read about that on the Tiger today. Somebody got hurt, didn't they? Not badly, but it was they put it's like a big tile, isn't it? And it kind of fell off, and somebody, I think it was an Australian guy, got injured, but not too badly, thank heavens. Okay, everyone's saying the same thing there now, even Paul. The reason I was asking is because Damon was asking me, and if Damon doesn't know, then a lot of people wouldn't. I wouldn't know. Ronald, it says I'm the number 3 contributor. Okay, very nice. I wonder who the number 1 is. I'm number 4, says Paul. Is there a number 1 contributor out there? I'd love to know who it is. Alan, hi Peter. Mike, again, I've just read that out. Shane, I enjoyed Hua Hin, but it's not as walkable as Pattaya. True. You need a scooter really in Hua Hin. Now, talking of scooters, I'm going to give you a warning now, okay? When you're in Thailand, somewhere like Hua Hin or Pattaya or some small coastal town, it's nice to ride a scooter without a helmet sometimes, isn't it? Not on a busy road, not on a highway, not in Bangkok, but sometimes in Jomtien or Hua Hin where it's nice. It's just you've got that freedom, haven't you? Without the helmet on, you feel kind of really warm air coming over. People are right and say, yeah, it's dangerous, but it is enjoyable. I'll put my hand up. I'm guilty of that. If I'm in Hua Hin, I won't wear a helmet when I'm going around Soi 94, that kind of area. But obviously, if I go on the Pegasin Road on the highway, then I would. Now, I got fined in Pattaya once for not wearing a helmet. It was 500 baht, just me on the bike. But be warned, from today, and they're strictly enforcing it, if you get caught on any kind of scooter, motorcycle, or anything, the fine is 2,000 baht. Okay, if you've got a girl on the back and she's not wearing a helmet, you got to pay 4,000 baht. Okay, that's about 90 pounds or 100 US dollars or 180 Australian dollars. I'm popular tonight. Who's that emailing me now? I just got to check it because it could be Franco telling me off about something. No. So yeah, be warned. I mean, when it was 500 baht, it wasn't too bad, was it? You take the risk and you think, okay, I probably won't get caught, and you probably you don't. But 4,000 baht's a bit much, so I've decided from now on I will be wearing a helmet or in Thai Moganok. Right. Paul says I need to send a few more comments. Okay, as long as they're nice. Paul Ryan says take us on the viewing with you. Yeah, I mean, I'll try. You're talking about going to look at villas, right? So what I'll do is when I go to look at them, it won't be a kind of like when I do with the hotel rooms, I'm talking over the top and everything, and I'm got a safe, and it's a proper video, isn't it? But I'll be with an agent probably, so all I can do is kind of just film as she's showing me. I won't be able to do a talk over, but at least you can see what you get for your money. Okay, why didn't you bring? I can't pronounce your name. Is it Joey? D. I won't try and pronounce it. You'll get upset. Why didn't you bring your dog from the UK? Several reasons. One, he's too old. 2, it's a lot of hassle getting him through customs and everything. And 3, my daughters love him. They'd never forgive me if I took them away. He's part of the family. He's always on their bed, one of their beds and stuff. And I mean, I couldn't take him from them. The other thing is here in Bangkok, it's like having a child. I'm on my own, and if I want to go out filming or something like that, then I'm stuck with a dog, isn't it? One of the reasons I want to get the villa, I say villa, it's a house, right? A house with a kind of a garden. You can drive your car in, then shut the gates, and you've got a kind of patch of land around the house. All right, but one of the reasons I want a house rather than a condo is so if I want to go out filming in the afternoon, I can just leave the dog outside. It's a warm country. Get him a kennel, in case it rains, and he's not going to get cold, is he? Not in Thailand. And the Thais they don't complain like like us in the West. If the dog starts barking for some reason, they're just like sabai. They're not going to make a big deal of it. So I can actually get a dog and not be too tired. The only thing is if I wanted to go away for a few days, then hopefully I've got a nice neighbor who can come in and feed him. That's the only reason. That's one of the reasons I want a house as well. But the thing is, I was looking at a guy in Hua Hin. He was walking his dog and he had this great long stick with him about 1 meter long. And I was thinking, why is he carrying that for? And then it clicked, because you have a lot of soy dogs, and they, at the best of times, they're not very friendly. And they see another dog on their patch and they want to attack it, right? So I guess the guy carries a stick. If another dog comes, if these soy dogs come along, then he's up with a stick. What I used to do, best tip I used to do is if you're in an area where there's a lot of soy dogs, carry a selfie stick like this one, like this, because this will slip into your pocket. Right, that's on the outside of your pocket. And if you get a problem with them soy dogs, you're walking along and they come at you at night. All you do is you pull that out like that, hold it up to them like that, and they'll run away. You don't have to hit them. You just do that, because the Thais whack them with sticks and all sorts. At night time, the security guards, if the dogs play up, the security guards, they're up all night. They whack these dogs. So you hold something like that up, they're not going to hang about. And I know it works because it happened to me in Jomtien at 2 o'clock in the morning when I had a selfie stick with me. RJC man, I'm coming to Hua Hin in 2 weeks. Want to retire there in 6 months. I think it's a good place to retire. Martin says adopt a soy dog. I probably want one a little bit nicer than that. I was probably Jack sells. They had a big fire over there, but I don't know. I have to think about it. It's still early days. Not sure what that means. Dutch, the back ender. Right, Barry Bluebird, easy run by train from Bangkok to Hua Hin. Do you know what's frustrating? You're right. What's frustrating about the train? So they run a train and it goes all the way from the top of Thailand, the very, very north of Thailand, right down to the south of Thailand. Right, I think it's a 16-hour journey, something like that. It's got sleeper cars on there. Okay, so you've got third class, which is just fans. There's no air conditioning. You've got second class, which is I can't remember if they're the bunks or not. But if you try and book like the bunk, I didn't want to sleep, but I wanted air conditioning, right? So they have these, you can book these like a carriage that's got 2 bunks in it that go into a chair, but it's air conditioned, right? But they won't let you book it until a day before it goes, right? And then the chances are they're already booked up anyway. So I phoned up the railway station. I said, look, I want to go to Hua Hin on a train. I want to book this air conditioned carriage. It's 450 baht, I think it was. But I've registered with you. They have English speakers in all the businesses here now, all the public companies, banks, things like that. So she spoke fairly good level. And I said, look, I want to book the train, but I'm not going for 3 weeks. And it won't let me book until the 1st of the day before. And I said, there's probably not going to be any seats then. And she said, well, the reason for that is because you're already doing a very short part of the journey. Bangkok to Hua Hin is it's a very short part of the journey when you think that it starts or finishes at the top of the country and it goes all the way down. So people book those carriages well in advance because they want to go to sleep. They're going to be on the train 16 hours. And that's all you can do. And very disappointed. So I'm glad I haven't sold the car. At least the car's reliable. Because the other thing is I could, even if I'm lucky enough to get the train to Hua Hin, coming back, the day I want to come back, I might not be able to get the train. It's fully booked. And then what do I do? It's a Bolt taxi for a couple of grand. Paul G says, have you been to the new pie shop, Pie Fours You? Are you talking about Bangkok or Pattaya, Paul? I haven't, but if there's one in Pattaya, I'll probably go and have a look at it. Ronald, there's probably dog shelters one could adopt. That's a good idea. Yeah, there probably is. Dust is getting to my nose again. Anders Bergman, Hua Hin seems to be a really nice alternative. Look, it depends what you're looking for, okay? If you're 40, 45, 50 and you still want to entertain the ladies, and you like that whole bar scene, you like starting off in a couple of beer bars, you want to go to go-go bars and look at pretty girls in bikinis, and that's really your thing, then Hua Hin's not for you, okay? If you want to live in a beach town, nice beach town where you've got everything you need, you've got a couple of malls, you've got some great entertainment, you've got some great Thai restaurants, you've got quite a few Western restaurants, Irish pubs and things like that. And you've got a couple of streets of bars. They're like beer bars with girls in them, nothing too raunchy. Then Hua Hin's a place for you. But I know a lot of guys who will go there and they'll just say it's boring. But for me now, Pattaya. I'm going to Pattaya next weekend. Okay, I'll tell you now. I've already booked the hotel. I'm going for. I'm going to be doing 2 interviews with obviously two different companies, and there's somebody who wants to put me on their what do you call it? He's not doing a video. What do they call it when you interview somebody on something pod? Oh, that's bugging me now. What do they call it? Live pod, is it? You know, where the guy interviews, and it's like a video, really, but God, what's it called? Something pod. Please remind me. Anyway, he wants me on that. He wants to kind of interview me on there as kind of one of YouTube's oldest Thailand YouTubers. He'll probably get a lot of flack for having me on there, but I'll go and do it. Alec, podcast. That's it. Podcast. He wants to do a podcast and interview me. So I'm going down there to do 3 different things. Alec, hello from downtown Toronto, Canada. Record cold temperature last night, so bad that when I came home at 2 a.m. last night, I noticed that my gas furnace in my apartment was on. God, I can't imagine it. You know, it's I have to put the aircon on because it's like 32 degrees at night. I don't envy you. T-Money, what breed of dog do you want? A beagle like Benji? No, I won't have another beagle. The thing is with beagles, they're really good family dogs because they're really they wouldn't bite or anything like that, but they're a little bit boring. You know, they won't run after a ball or you know, they're what they call pack animals. You know, they're all just always sniffing, trying to pick up scents. I'd want something about that size, nothing too big. You know, nothing like a German Shepherd or a Golden Retriever, and not one of those little dogs that they carry in the bar girls carry in their bags. You know, just a nice looking medium-sized dog. I'm not really too fussed. He doesn't have to be pedigree, just a nice looking dog. Short-haired dog. I don't want long hairs, you know, hair all over the place. Golf is supposed to be awesome. Yeah, it's a real big golfing town in Hua Hin. There's a lot of nice golf clubs. Okay. Right, Jeff Fried Rice, how you doing? Hey, Peter, best part of trucking is catching you live during a long drive. Do you think, thank you, do you think everything's getting expensive is ruining tourism? I keep hearing like that. I always get into arguments with people because if you start saying, oh, Bangkok's getting expensive, a lot of people compare it to back home. So let me give you an example. Okay, so if you get a taxi here, it's dirt cheap compared to the UK. You know, what it would cost me £150 for in the UK, which is 6,000 baht, I could get here for 1,500 baht. Okay, so things like that. The public transport is still cheap. Hotels are relatively still cheap, I think. Thai food is relatively cheap, but the entertainment scene, foreign Western restaurants, drinks, you know, beers and stuff, unless you go and sit on some tin table in some quiet soy. And I mean, if you want to go into a nice bar, not necessarily a Western bar, but just a nice, comfortable bar, I think it's getting expensive here in Bangkok. I really do. And, you know, Bangkok and Hua Hin are a good alternative because when I go to patio, I really notice a big difference in the prices. I mean, I did go to a few go-go bars in LK Metro a few months ago, and incredible. I was ordering draft beer in a go-go bar for 56 baht all night. You know, I mean, that's just unheard of here in Bangkok. I think the cheapest I've ever seen a beer in a I'm not talking about happy hour, but in a go-go bar here in Bangkok, I think the cheapest I've ever seen a beer is like 160, 180 baht. You know, I mean, they're just really taking the mick now. You know, if somebody wants to take a girl out, he has to buy her several drinks just to get her off the stage. You know, I mean, it's taking the piss now. Mark Hanley, how you doing? Paul, it was raining hard here today in the north of Bangkok. Yeah, we had some rain. Go-go bars are expensive in Bangkok. That's true. In Pat Pong, they are cheaper, 150 baht for a ladies' drink, but the bar fines are ridiculous, 4,000 baht. But Pat Pong's had its day, hasn't it? I mean, I went down there last year with my friend Simon. The only decent bar really that I enjoyed was the Pink Pussycat or something, the one where they changed they've got the girls dancing and then they changed it into a boxing ring, Thai boxing, Muay Thai, and that was quite good. The other ones they kind of had their day, haven't they? You know, I mean, I'm not surprised at you, but 4,000 baht for a bar fine, I mean, that is taking the piss. Paul, I offer the bar girls 100 baht, a kiss or a lady drink. What I used to do, I'll tell you what I used to do, and it works out cheaper, and a lot of the times the girls are happier, is sometimes I'd go into a bar and I'd want to play pool, but I'm by myself, and I'd say, does anybody want to play pool to the girls? And one of the girls would come over, and the standard script is buying her ladies' drinks all the way through the games, right? If you have half a dozen games, you know, and you're paying you're just paying like too much for ladies' drink. And I used to say to them, I say, look, I'm not going to buy you a drink, but I'll see you right. You know, I'll give you a good tip at the end. I'll pay 4 or 5 games. I'll give her 200 baht, right? Happy as Larry she was. Who's Larry? Anyway, she was as happy as him. And yeah, right. Let me just say thank you to Anton. Thank you, Anton. Thank you very much. A little something for the dog food fund. Sweaty crab. Early days yet, Anton. That'll probably be drank rather than dog food, but I'll owe him some dog food. Thanks a lot for that. Very kind of you. Right, let's go back up. If I do miss your comment, guys, I'm not doing it on purpose. They're coming in really fast now. I'll try and get through as many as I can. James B, 777 driver, great live stream. People say Thailand is quiet from tourists now, but let's put that out there. But all the flights I've done, all flights are completely full. Another trip next week, aircraft completely full. What it might be, though, James, it is quiet season now. It's never gotten dead in Thailand. But even I noticed it. I did a 1-minute clip last week where I walked around and I was 7 o'clock, 7:30 at night. I filmed some restaurants where normally you couldn't get a seat at 7 o'clock in any of them. And, you know, some of the restaurants had 2 people in them or 3 people or no people. One of the bars had nobody in it, not a single customer. And that's, you know, that is really low season. But in answer to your question, what happens is the airlines put on less aircraft. So, you know, if there's a lot of people coming to Thailand at high season, Thai Airways, for instance, they might do 3-4 flights a day out of London. I'm just guessing, right? They might be doing 3 or 4 flights out of London every single day because it's high season. During low season, they might only do 2 flights a day, you know, 12:30, 1 o'clock. And that's why the flights come up full. I have missed a few comments, guys. I'm going to get down to some of the later ones now because I'm falling behind. If I read the really old ones out, they just won't mean anything. Dixon Orm's Space Pod, laugh out loud. Okay. P-Pod, Rolling Tourist, clever. And I'm not being sarcastic. Stephen Hilliard podcast, yeah, okay. Right, I did actually guess it before I was told, but thank you for everybody there. Bruno, Hua Hin is fine. I'm over 65 and like relaxed atmosphere near the beach. Hua Hin has everything you need, also bars. Yeah, it's not crazy, is it? And it's not for everyone, as I say, but I like it. Let's put it that way. And I move where I want to move. Grant, Thailand has a great train system, both local within the country and international. Yeah. Praval, how are you doing? Good evening, Peter. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. I don't have a flu. Now, this might be a bit of a boring subject, but it's been on the news recently in Thailand. There's a lot of cases of COVID at the moment. It's not a really strong, it's not a big deal. They're treating it like a cold. But just to let you know, if you come here and you're going on the MRT or the BTS, or you're going to be in a really crowded atmosphere, it might be worth wearing a mask. I hate masks, but when I go on the BTS, I wear a mask because I just don't want to catch COVID. It's like, you know, it's like having another cold again, isn't it? URL Super Bot, why are you thinking of moving away so early? You seem to be pretty fit and alert and having a great time. You said you want to go to Hua Hin at the end of your life. I don't think I said I wanted to go at the end of my life because I don't know when the end of my life is. Look, this is my 3rd year. I've been living on this particular trip. I've been living here for 3 years. Okay, I lived on throughout the years. Okay, I've lived on Soi 4. I've lived on Soi 22. I've lived on Soi 38. I've lived in Tonglo. I've lived in Pattaya. Okay. I just, you know, for me, Bangkok's a great city. It's a world-class city. It's got everything. But you get to the point, I've just turned 65 in April. Okay. I came here when I was 62. And I can't criticize Bangkok, but it gets to a point now, I want to step out my door and not have to face loads of traffic and pollution and crowds of people. You know, I want to be able to get on my scooter and go to where I want to go without having to go in between cars and wait for red lights every few streets, you know. And I just want somewhere a little bit more tamer than Bangkok. I want to be able to relax. I can still run my YouTube channel. Okay. Most of my videos, I'm not outside filming, you know, like traditional vloggers that, you know, they're going out, you know, I'm filming what, I don't know, the Grand Palace. You know, those videos don't seem to work for me. You know, my style of video is more kind of like live stream stories. And occasionally, you know, if I do a trip to, like I did Hua Hin or where did I go to? Cambodia, something like that. And sometimes I just like to talk to the camera. You know, if there's some advice I think I can offer people, then sometimes I'll just set up a camera and talk to the camera. And those videos do quite well for me. So I think I can keep my YouTube channel running in Hua Hin. And on top of that, I can add to the value of it because I can show people, okay, this is what I paid for my house. This is what I've got. This is where I got my dog from. This is what I do. I mean, people are interested, aren't they? I had a few messages lately from young guys, and when they want to insult me, what they do, I don't know why, they call me granddad or old man, or I shouldn't be doing YouTube. And I've got this theory. I think it's young guys who are failed YouTubers. You know, they come out here and they think they're going to be superstars, you know, and they try it for 3 months and they just flop dead on their face. It's really weird, you know, when people want to insult you, they don't just say something like, oh, your videos are terrible, or your videos are boring, or you're bored. They always start off by saying, hey, old man, your videos are boring, go back home, or nobody wants to watch an old guy. And I'm thinking, I don't write back to them because they're not worth writing back to, but I'm thinking, what a load of rubbish, because, you know, I'm sure the majority of my audience is around my age or a bit younger, and they wouldn't watch me if they didn't, you know, if they didn't think some of the videos at least were interesting. But there seems to be a growing trend of younger guys attacking me for being old. You know, I mean, it's almost like it's a crime to have a YouTube channel and be slightly older. You know, I want to, so what if I'm 65? You know, I'll do it till I'm 75 if I can, you know, as long as people watch. You know, screw them. I'm not listening to them. Hobson's Choice, Hua Hin sounds quite appealing. Take a trip down there, a couple of days. Paul Hoskins says Yorkshire Terrier. I'd never get a Yorkshire Terrier, Paul. They're bloody constantly barking, you know, constantly barking. Ronald, do you get to meet the royals in Hua Hin? Okay, I know you're only joking, but because they got a royal palace there, they have 4 very, very good hospitals, the Bangkok hospital being one of them in Hua Hin. So no problems with health there. Shane says, get a sausage dog. A Chihuahua would suit you nicely, says Martin. Thank you, Martin. I love you too. All of those dogs I actually hate that you've named so far. Jesse, be careful with short-haired dog. I have a boxer and they shed like crazy. However, my Shih Tzu, and I know what one of them is, doesn't shed at all, but I've got to get her groomed every month. Yeah. To be fair, I think the dog I get will be in the garden most of the time. I'll let him sleep in the kitchen, but it's a rented property. The problem I'm going to have is all the villas I've looked at or houses, they're all saying no pets, okay? But I know how to get around that. What I need to do is go down and see the agent and say, look, I'm relocating from Bangkok, okay? I'm not going to book for a year. As long as he doesn't want his house back, I'll book for 5 years, 10 years. I don't know how long I'm going to be here, but I want a dog. And if I am a landlord in the UK, I've got some properties at the bank home, but they're my properties. Super chats will dry up now. I should have said that. You know, what will happen is, you know, being a landlord, if you know, if you've had a house that's empty for 6 months and somebody says, look, I want to rent this house, and I'm happy to sign a 2-3 year lease at the same rent, they're going to bite my hand off, aren't they? Especially if I say, look, I want the dog will stay outside most of the day, and when he sleeps, he'll be in a cage in the kitchen. I mean, he won't, but that's what I'll tell them. Okay, Peter, do not get to airport and get a bus to Hua Hin and cheap. Do not get a train. I mean, I know all the modes of transportation. I actually did a video a while ago, about a year ago, about how to get the bus from Edgamaya down to Pattaya. I've just never experienced the train. Believe it or not, I've never ever been on a train in Thailand, ever, not once. And I just want to experience it, you know, because it's a beautiful country. And when you drive, when I drive, I'm concentrating on the road. I'd like to just have a leisurely 3-hour journey to Hua Hin on a train and be able to look out the window and take it all in. And plus, I think it'd be a good video as well. I don't even know what one of those is, dog. I don't even know what one is. A bit of self-advertising there. Right, Mianoi, laugh out loud was on about that, Peter, saying happy as Larry. Who was Harry? And why was be happy? It's Larry, not Harry. Yeah, who was Larry? Happy as Larry. I can look it up on the internet, can't I? Pierre, good video on Hua Hin, on retirement. We needed that one. Thank you, Pierre. The thing is, when you do a video like the one I did for Hua Hin, there's because I filmed so much, actually most of it I cut away, because you upload a video that's 2 hours long, nobody's going to watch it, right? So, you know, I did the hotel, I did the animal sanctuary, I did the night market, I did the drive-in, I did the scooter, you know, but you've got to condense that all down so that when people look at it, it's not going to be like, you know, War and Peace. Yeah, I think it did okay. I did okay. Dr. Diff, I don't know what that first word says. I'm usually watching from Denver, Colorado, but this week I'm watching from Tokyo. Strangely, a show even more enjoyable from here. Okay, thanks very much. That's quite a complicated one to read there. I'm way behind on these comments. Paul, podcast, yeah. Tada, where do you get fish and chips in Hua Hin? Oh, there's a couple of good places down there. At the moment, the Golden Ferret, brilliant. You've got Sharples next door, but all the pubs do fish and chips. But if you want really good fish and chips, either Sharples or the Golden Ferret, you can look it up on Google. And actually, the Golden Ferret, the food there's fantastic. I'm not getting any backhanders from them. But whenever I want to, if I have to go out and pay for food, it's not included, like the breakfast, for instance. I do visit there quite a lot. I don't go there all the time because it can get quite monotonous, but I do like it a lot. T-Money, the best part of renting is the ability to move to new locations if you choose. Exactly. I made a video a while ago called "Do Not Buy a Condo in Thailand," and I listed out 14 reasons why, and there's flack I got off people saying no, I bought 2 condos and it's great, but they forget other things. I mean, what happens if you meet a toxic girl and she's banging your door at 3 o'clock every morning, or you get some Thai neighbors who are playing Isan music all night, full on? I mean, I don't see the point in tying up a lot of money in rental when it's so sorry, I don't see the point in investing 2-3 million and having all that money tied up when you can rent for like me, 20,000 baht a month for this. People say this thing like, oh, it's dead money. When you rent, you've thrown your money away. It's dead money. I don't look at it like that. It's not dead money because you're getting something for it, aren't you? It's like if you check into a hotel and you give them 1,000 baht, that's not a dead 1,000 baht because they've given you a bed, towels to dry yourself with, hot water to have a shower. You've got a toilet to go to the toilet. And so I've got a nice apartment. I can park my car here. So yeah, I don't think it's dead money. Okie dokie. Right. Tada, laugh out loud. The jokes on them calling someone a boomer is old and is played out. Absolutely. URL Droid Superbot. I remember you saying, I can see myself ending the days here in Hua Hin. It's nice coastal town, or I don't want to go to Isan. I remember what you say. Yeah, I mean, I want to go to a coastal town, be able to walk along the beach and stuff. Okay. Hobbs' Choice, love Bangkok. Yes, I'm thinking it's time to move on. It's at lease renewal time. My lease renews in December. I don't want to move in December, so I hope my landlady's, she's nice actually. Paul says, I'll watch you till you're 100, Paul. Thank you, Paul, but I might not even make it to 100. Mike Braithwaite, Napoleon Mastiff. Not sure what that means. That's probably just insulted me. I don't know what it means. Okay, URL. I observe your retirement life progresses to consider Thailand as a retirement option. I thought Cambodia was pretty good as well, but I only spent 2 days there. I need a bit more time. But I wouldn't leave Thailand unless I had to. Ryan says, I'd rather sit at a bar and chat to you rather than the fake YouTubers. Thank you very much. That's kind of you. I was speaking to somebody who owns I won't tell you the bar because I'm going to film his bar next week. It's a little bit special. It's quite a busy bar. But I was speaking to the owner, and he's been trying to get me to video down there for a while. And I said, look, okay, look, I'm coming down. I've got a few things to do, but I'll come and, I'll interview you and we'll do a video together, content for me. And it's a little bit of promotion for him. But his place is doing very well. But he said something, and this is by message, right? And I wrote to him and I said, no, he said something like, you seem to be doing pretty well. And I said, well, you're only as good as your last video. And there's a lot of competition out there now. And he wrote back to me. He said, there's only a few good ones. And most of the others are embarrassing. I don't know who he's talking about, but I'm sure there are some crappy ones out there as well. Wheelchair bound. That's nice. Wheelchair bound. Been going backwards and forwards to Hua Hin for 20 years. And I love it. Good stuff. If anybody knows of a decent agent in Hua Hin, I don't mean just getting a name off the internet. I can do that myself. But if you have a relationship, you've dealt with a decent agent who are really fair and they really work hard to get you a place, let me know. I'll put my email address up there again. There it is there. It's unusually Peter at Thailand Bound. There's a hyphen in there between the Thailand Bound. If you know anybody down there in Hua Hin, like a decent agent who you've dealt with before and they've done a good job, I'd appreciate a contact, and then I can go and see them when I go down there. I'm going back down there in about 3 weeks' time, but it's Pattaya next week. Tada, I like skipping on the beach with my monkey during sunset. Okay, very nice. Robin, the chosen one, how you doing? Hi, Peter and fellow mongers. Hope you're having a... Oh, hang on. Hope you're having a fine Sunday evening. Smash the like, lads. Okay, yeah, nice one. Barry Bluebird, you mentioned a trip to Udon Thani. Are you still interested in that, Peter? There's a lot of places I'm interested in going to, Barry, but it's just having the time, because the thing is with YouTube, I do everything myself, and I've mentioned this so many times before that it's a lot of work. You know, it ties up a lot of my time. And for instance, when I go away for 3 or 4 days, like I'm going to Pattaya for 3 nights, and then I'm going back down to Hua Hin for 4 days. So what that means is, because the stories, when I do the Saturday morning stories, they take me about from start to actually where I've uploaded it, they take me about 12 hours total. Okay, everything. So like this week, every day, because I know I'm going away, I'm going to have to be doing stories when I finish the live stream, especially the members live stream, because I have competitions and so much, you know, in there. I've got to prepare all that stuff. So this week I'm going to be preparing every day for when I'm away. But yeah, Barry, I would like to get up there. That is a short answer. Robert, Peter, what's your view on Bangkok Bank closing bank accounts open with tourist visa unless a condo owner? Okay, now look, I've actually made a video about this, so I want to put everybody straight on this, because there's a lot of misinformation going around. I've been in collaboration with Thai Legal Protection. I've made sure I've got my facts straight. I'm going to release it to members on Tuesday. I'm going to release it to everybody else I'm going to release it to members next Saturday and everybody else next Tuesday. Okay, right. So I'll just basically mention it, but this is all in the video when I release it next week. Okay, so basically what happened, there was a false Facebook page that went viral. Okay, somebody put up a post that said, all the Thai banks are going to close down all foreigners' bank accounts and keep the money. Okay, they're not going to let them get their money back. And people were panicking, especially people who are not here in Thailand. Now, what really is happening, and I go into this in depth in my video that I release next week. Okay, what's really happening is there were a bunch of Chinese crypto scammers. Okay, I don't know if they're located in Pattaya, but because it was fairly easy to open accounts here in Thailand on tourist visas, you could get help doing that, if you understand what I mean. These scammers were using these accounts as mule accounts, basically. So what they were doing crypto scams. They were doing, you know, all these scams that they do online, and they were getting the money into cryptocurrency. And there was one, they sent something like 100 million. Was that? No, sorry, it was $1.2 million or 100 million baht, something like that. So there were several big transactions. Bangkok Bank cottoned onto these, and they didn't close the accounts. They put them on hold to investigate them. Some Chinese were arrested, and the money's been put on hold for now. So what the Bangkok Bank has said is they're only going to issue bank accounts to people for 3 reasons. Okay, either you have a long-term visa, i.e. a retirement visa, something like that. Unfortunately, the DLT visa, which they've been promoting as a long-term visa, the Bangkok Bank doesn't recognize that visa as a long-term visa. They recognize it as a short-term visa, although it isn't impossible to get a bank account with a DLT visa, but very, very difficult, because Bangkok Bank don't view it as a long-term visa. Okay, so long-term visa. If you're married to a Thai, you can open a bank account, or if you've got Thai property. They're the main 3 things. Now, there are exceptions to the rule. If you're not here on a long-term visa, but you have a Thai wife, for instance, but you work out of the country a couple of months and you come back and you can prove that, then you can have a Thai bank account. Okay, so what the banks have said is they're not going to just suddenly close down all these accounts. What they're going to do is they're contacting as many people as they can. If somebody opened it on a tourist visa, they'll contact them. And what they'll do is they'll invite them to come in and take their money, and then the account will close. And when you'll notice something's wrong is if you're on a tourist visa and you're not in the country and you've got online Bangkok banking, an app, or the online facility, you know, transfers and stuff, none of that will start working. That'll all stop working. You won't be able to do transfers, nothing. Okay, but what will happen is when you come here again, you go into the bank and present your ID, i.e. your passport. They'll let you withdraw all your funds, but that's all you can do. You won't be able to. They'll close down the account then. Okay, so it's just scaremongering. You know, all that post that said they're closing down all accounts. They're not closing down all accounts. Is there anything else on that I've missed out? I think that's pretty much it. So if you've got a all it means, if you won't be able to open, in most cases, you won't be able to open a Thai bank, a Bangkok bank account with a tourist visa like you could previously. Okay, that's what they're tightening up on now. And my guess is the other banks, SBC, Kasikorn, K Bank, they will, in my my guessing, I think they will follow suit a little bit later on, although at the moment they haven't announced anything. I hope that kind of clears that up a little bit. But as I say, I'll go into great detail in the video that I'm going to release next week about on-loan banking from the Bangkok Bank. Okay, Ricardo. Can't believe Ed Sweeney has decided to do a live stream at exactly the same time as you. His bad timing, not yours, Pete. Well, I've got nearly 300 in, so I'm not really worried. Strange. He's probably forgot I'm live. He probably doesn't know I'm live streaming now, or he can't remember. I shouldn't have read that one out actually, because 10 people have immediately left. Tada. Okay, can you email that to me, please? Gyra Properties, is it? Yeah, because it'll all get lost. It all gets lost in the. After I'm getting hundreds of comments and it gets lost. So if you always email me anyway, right? I'll check it out in the morning if you don't mind. Stephen James, I've made over 10 comments, none acknowledged. You're a meanie. Oh, I've acknowledged this one. I do miss a lot because I'm on my own here and there's a lot of comments coming all the time. So as I say every week, I don't do it in purpose. Right, Gordon Murdoch, tell us about Bangkok Bank. I've just done that, haven't I, Gordon? Christopher Saidud, is it Moroccan? Is it? Okay. Not sure if that's a serious comment there. Peter, are you single, ready to mingle? Okay. Darcy, hi. How are you doing? Dutch Frank, don't hold your precious money in Thai bank account. Untrustworthy. I spread mine about a little bit. I've actually got 3 Thai bank accounts. Now, just on that Thai bank account thing again, the long-term visa, this is quite interesting. So when I came here on my first year, I was on a retirement visa, but originally I came in on a tourist visa, and then I applied through an agent to get my long-term visa, right? Now, because I opened the bank account on a tourist visa, even though I've got a long-term visa now, I have to go into the bank and show them my passport that I've got a long-term visa. So 2 days ago, I went to the Bangkok Bank on Sukhumvit Road here, explained the situation, said, "Can you update your system? Because here's my long-term visa now. I've got a work permit here, right? It's for a year. Can you update it?" And she looked at my book and says, "No, you have to go to Pattaya to do it." And I'm like, but it's Bangkok Bank, you're trying to say, so I have to jump in my car, fill it with fuel, drive 2 hours each way, stay in a hotel, exaggerated a bit, I wouldn't go down just for that. And I said, just to do some administrative, work that you can, to update my book. And she said, basically, yes. I mean, crazy, anywhere else in the world, if you've got a bank account, you can go into any branch and do what you got to do. But they told me you got to go to Pattaya and do it. You're lucky, Krista, if you've got a bag with 10 million baht inside it. I don't think many people here have got that much. Dutch Frank, don't hold your precious money. Yeah, okay. I've just read that one, haven't I? So I keep my money, some of it in the UK. The biggest amount of it, the biggest batch of my money, I keep with Wise, because they give me it used to be 3.9% interest. They're now about about 3.5%. Okay, but it's still much better than any of the banks in the UK. So I keep the lion's share of my funds with Wise. I keep a small amount in the UK for emergencies, and then I spread it out between what I've got here. I spread out between 3 banks here in Thailand. One of the banks, the K banks, because I don't have insurance, because I won't get into it, but the nonsense I went through, because I don't have insurance, I've put 1 million baht, which is about 22,000 pounds, 25,000 US dollars. I've put that to one side, so that if I was to have a heart attack or a stroke or something like that, then I've got the money to get over that, and then I'd have to decide where I'm going from there. A heart attack here typically would be anywhere between 300,000 and 500,000 baht, but it could be a motorcycle accident, it could be anything. But I get good interest on that. That 1 million baht is in K Bank, and at the moment they pay me 1,800 baht every 13th of the month. After tax, I get 1,500 baht put into my account, which is about 30 quid, 30 pounds. It's not a huge amount, but it'll get me a couple of nice dinners. Mike Braithwaite, laugh out loud. Yeah, okay. I can't believe I've actually got nearly to the end of the comments. Oh no, I haven't. Okay, where are we? Damon, thank you if you're still watching. Sorry I'm a bit late. 48 months a member. Peter, what area will be staying in Pat's same as normal. We'll be out next week. Be good to meet up, Damon. I'm going to be really busy filming and stuff. I've got a lot of things to do, but I'm going to be staying in Soi 5 this time. I'm not going to name the hotel in case there's any nutters out there. Do you remember the guy who threatened to punch me in the face? I haven't heard from him since. He's blocked me on Facebook, idiot. Yeah, there's a hotel I like in Soi 5, and it's always fully booked. And I managed to get a room for 3 nights there. It was very reasonable, about 3,600 baht, includes breakfast as well. So I'm well happy about that. So yeah, I'll be out there, Damon. I'm driving down on the Saturday. I'll be there Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, coming back on the Tuesday. But I've got a real full schedule, so maybe we can meet in Phil's new bar. I haven't been to his new bar yet. Okay, let's see, who have I missed out? Okay. Hobson's Choice. After the recent bank staff assisting Chinese to open bank accounts in Pattaya, things are getting tighter. Tighter, but not impossible. If you're coming out here for any length of time, things can still be done. They just, quite rightly, they want to crack down on scammers. Why should they hold bank accounts? They're ripping off people, right? Why should they be allowed to keep people's money in accounts and send it off to China, Prince Fergus, good morning, Peter. Wasn't able to see you while I was there, but maybe next time. Yeah, I'm always here. Christopher, Peter, do you completely avoid bar girls? If so, where do you go to have fun, romantic interest? I don't avoid bar girls. It's not like, oh shit, here comes a bar girl, I'll go that way. No, it's not that. It's not about avoiding anybody, really. So how is my day different to what it used to be? So when I was younger, obviously, my heyday, 36, hanging around Sukhumvit, I went to go-go bars, okay? That was it. I'd start off in Soy Cowboy. We'd have a few beers in there. Not every night because I was working here, right? But now I get up early, so I'll typically get up about 8:30, 9 o'clock. I'll go and have a leisurely cup of coffee or 2 cups of coffee. Got a nice table in my kitchen there. If there's any laundry to be done, I'll chuck that in, hang that out on the balcony and everything. It's now, by the time I've had 2 cups of coffee and scratched my ass a few times, it's now 11 o'clock. And then if I'm going to go out and make a video, I'm planning what to do. If I'm not going to make a video, I'll normally then come onto my PC, check all my Facebook, check everything that needs to be checked. It's now 12 o'clock. And then sometimes I'll meet somebody for lunch somewhere outside, or I'll decide to go over to Fortune Town Mall, something like that, or go out and make a video, get back about 4, normally late afternoon, 4-ish, offload everything I've recorded that day, or bring the wash in, or have a quick shower because it's been sticky. And then I like to go to Benji Kitty Park every day for a couple of hours, get back. It's now 6 o'clock in the evening. I'll make some dinner, or I'll meet somebody for dinner. Like I'm going to meet Thomas in the W District on Wednesday for food. By about 8:30, by about 7:30, I might pop into somewhere like the Red Lion or Det 5, or just a normal bar, not a kind of beer bar, go-go bar. I'll have 2 or 3 pints of Tiger. I'll be back home by 9:30, watch Netflix for a couple of hours, or YouTube, and I'm in bed before midnight. Normally I'm in bed by 11:30, and if I like to get away, like I'm going to go down to Pattaya, I'm going to go down to Hua Hin in 3 weeks' time, and that's basically what I do. I don't avoid bar girls. As far as the other part of your question there, I do talk about that in the members stream. I don't like to talk about it in this part of the stream because I don't actually know who's watching, and there are nutters out there who use things against you. I'll leave it at that, right? Krista again, nice, but I wouldn't like to carry I've just read that, haven't I? Lewis McKenzie, Peter, which podcast will you be interviewed by? I will follow him. I'm not just saying this. Honestly, I don't know the guy. I've never heard of him before, but he did a podcast with Nick Dean. That's what he sent me. And I forget the name of his podcast because he actually contacted me on Facebook, and we're actually messaging on Facebook now. And I've just written to him tonight and said, look, because he said, because I said I don't go down to Pattaya much, but I'm going down. I don't want to say who I'm interviewing, but I'm doing a couple of interviews down there. So I said to him, look, if you want to interview me, that's fine. I'll come and see you. And I'm just waiting for him to come back to me. The problem is when I get interviewed on other channels, I get so much shit. I mean, when Bangkok Pat, I was on Bangkok Pat's, I interviewed Bangkok Pat a couple of times, and he interviewed me. And because he's kind of straight-laced and his audience is different to my audience, he had to turn off the comments because people were just slating me. Why have you got that guy Peter, Monger on your channel? All he talks about is bar girls and go-go bars. His audience are not that way inclined, and he had to turn the comments off in the end. So I warned this guy. I said, look, if you have me on there, you're likely to get a lot of people leave negative comments, but he didn't seem to mind. So I thought, okay, I'll do it. Robin, love your food videos, Peter, especially the Buffett ones. Any new ones coming up? I just put one up on Facebook tonight, Robin, homemade beef burgers with fried onions. When I put them up on YouTube, people are like, oh, you're like a little Thai girl now, showing us every meal you have. Yeah, okay. Look, I'll try and do the one I'm going to do on Wednesday. Should be quite interesting, because what it is, it's kind of like a food court, but it's Western food and Thai food. It's not, and it's in a nice. I hope it doesn't rain, but it looks like a beer garden, but it's actually food, surrounding it, and you've got a bar there outside. I'll try and film some of that, because that's a nice place to go if you're here. And it's away from Nana. It's quite a nice. I haven't been there for about a year, but it's pretty nice atmosphere. Dutch, I can't talk about that, because what happens, I'll get the YouTube don't allow that word. You watch any YouTube, even Tim from TNT says the same. You mention it, your video gets demonetized. But the situation, I've got it up on stream there. Yeah, I mean, the prices just dropped and dropped and dropped, and they're always talking about changing the law, so you can't buy it from Boost, and you have to have a registered doctor, and it's quite complicated now. Right, Happy Life. That part is true. If you need to do something with the bank, you have to do it at the bank you opened it at. It's strange, though, isn't it? Because if any other country in the world, you just go into a branch. Like I'm with Lloyd's in the UK, okay? In my hometown is Kettering, okay? I've still got an address there. And but if I was in the UK and I was in London, for instance, for a couple of nights, not that I will be, I could go into Lloyd's Bank and I could do whatever I had to do, and they'd do it. It's all computerized. I once went to where did I go now? I think it was to the driving center. There was a Thai agent, a girl, and she took me to a driving center or a bank or somewhere. I can't remember. This was about in the early days. I had to sign a lot of paper. It's like, I mean, a wad of paper, all in Thai. And I was like, why? I said, why did we have to sign so many pieces of paper? Don't they computerize it all? And she actually said to me, this is a Thai woman. She says, you know what? She says, Thai people, they love paper signatures, stamps, but nobody ever looks at it. I mean, she told me that. I'm not making it up. Right. Not sure what that means, Mike. The devil's lettuce. Tada. Couldn't Peter, how's the ADV 160? Any upgrades? No upgrades. That's another reason to get out of Bangkok, isn't it? I love riding my scooter. I went down to Kanchanaburi on it, 3.5 hours. I went down to Pattaya with a passenger, 3 hours again, because I can't use the main toll road. But now it's a rainy season. It would be terrible to be halfway to Pattaya and the skies open up, because it's not like a light shower. I mean, it's like hose pipes are on you. But that's another thing. I want to take it down to Hua Hin and be able to ride it properly. When I'm riding along Sukhumvit, I've even stopped going to Terminal 21 on it, because it's easier just to jump on the BTS and get off at the BTS station at Terminal 21. Because when I come out of Terminal 21, I've got to go Asok, normally wait 3 or 4 minutes for the lights to change, U-turn, and then I can't do a straight run. I'm kind of in between the cars, behind the grab motorcycles. It's not a great experience. Christopher, is Wise FDIC insured? Basically, are they obligated to pay up to $100,000 if they close, etc.? Yeah, they're covered by I don't know the exact amounts, but they're covered by the same organization that covers a bank. They're based in the UK, actually, but they're not a bank. They're a money service. That's the big difference. But they still come under the same regulation. They're not just some Mickey Mouse setup. They're a big company. I've never had any problems transferring money, and I've transferred some quite big amounts in the past. Barry Bluebird, how serious is the police problem with freelancers at Beach Road? Quite serious. They mean to kind of clean it up. They have purges, right? So what will happen is they'll go to the Beach Road, 50 police, they'll round up all the girls. It'll go quiet for a week or two, and then slowly they trickle back. It's like these guys on Sukhumvit, the guys who are selling something they shouldn't be selling, you know what I mean? Every 100 yards, they rounded them all up 6 months ago, and they were back within 2-3 days. Not the same ones, but people selling the same thing. Dog, Peter, it's kind of Russian roulette. You play with your insurance case. I hope nothing happens to you. Okay, so I've had this conversation with many people, and the way I look at it, Dog, is I don't want to be paying insurance for the next 10 years, and then suddenly I need that insurance and they don't pay out because I haven't dotted the I or crossed the T, or there's something I missed out on. You know, insurance companies are famous for it, right? So I've got two choices, haven't I? I can either stay in the UK and be terrified to get on a plane and come to Thailand in case I have some serious illness, or the other alternative is I can come out here, enjoy life, try and look after myself, try and stay healthy. Okay, I'm a little bit podgy, I admit that. I drink a little bit too much, but I do walk between 3 and 5 miles a day, and I've put that money by. Now, I know guys who live, especially in Pattaya, you know, they live from week to week, month to month on a pension. And when it gets to the end of the month, you know, they're looking, some of them have got 200 baht in the bank, and that's it. You know, if they had an emergency, they'd have a problem. I get your point. But the whole point of having the million there, it gives me some flexibility, okay? There's nothing worse than paying a huge amount of money to an insurance company and then they don't pay out. What they said to me is, we'll insure you, this is how much it is, but if you have a heart attack or a stroke, we won't pay out. Well, what's the point in that? I went and I do a lot of checkups, right, to make sure that I'm healthy and I'm unlikely to have a heart attack. I take blood tests. I went to the hospital about 6 weeks ago and I paid to have the ink put through my veins, and then they put you into that kind of tube, you know, that big tube you go in. They can see your arteries because they've got ink, and they showed them to me. So there's 3 major arteries coming from your heart. So the 2 on the right were completely clear, nothing, okay? And the one on the left was 15% blockage. And I said to the doctor, what do you think? Do I need a stent? And she was like, 15% is nothing. She said, come back in a year, 2 years, have it looked at again. If it gets worse, then we'll put a stent in. So that's what I do. That's how I cover it. Like I say, the only other alternative is to sit at home and watch TV, and, if you know, have the phone next to the TV, so that if I have a heart attack, hopefully I've still got enough strength to pick it up and go to the hospital. But the way the NHS is at the moment, I'd probably, you know, kick my clogs in the ambulance outside in the queue waiting before I went in anyway. I get your point, but, you know, I've got my own way of thinking on that as well. Lance, Thailand is nothing but trouble these days. It's just a headache from government regulations, traffic police and scammers. You're lucky if you are not victimized one way or the other. Yeah, I mean, Pattaya is pretty much, for me, I don't want to criticize, but, you know, I've been going there many years and I've seen a lot of changes, and they're not always for the good. Stephen, can you share your hotel details? No face punching, just a big old hug. Okay. You know about that guy, don't you? He sent me a message on Facebook saying, stop uploading this shit. I don't know what he was referring to. And he said, I felt like punching you in the face. He's seen me, right? He didn't introduce himself. He wrote to me after the fact. He said, when I seen you, I felt like punching you in the face. Stop it, or else next time, if I see you in the dark, I will, something like that. And I'm thinking, what's the dark got to do with it? If you want to punch me in the face, and he's assuming that I just stand there and take it, right? That's what you deal with. Luigi, I already answered that one, mate. I really can't remember. I don't know. I have to go in and look at it again because he contacted me the other day. Paul, do you ever stay in the bar till 3 a.m. anymore? Never, Paul, ever. I mean, I'm home most nights by, if I go out, I'm home by 9:30 most nights. Christopher, parking lot. Okay, not sure what that means. I can't pronounce that name, so I'll put it up on screen. Peter, is an author Thailand-bound stories, real tales of love and losses in the land of smiles? Yeah, I brought a book out a few years ago. It sold, I don't know how many copies it sold. I think I've still got a picture of it here somewhere. Somebody actually did it for me, and it did sell quite a few copies. But I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not Shakespeare or anything like that. But it was just, you know, the stories I read out on a Saturday morning. I picked a selection of them. So if you're sitting on the toilet with this book, you've got something to read. And yeah, it's still on Amazon. You know, I can't even remember how much it is now. Right, Luigi, 2 weeks breaks, the 3-day. I'll read that one. I've missed one there. Luigi, 2 weeks breaks the 3-day rule. I recommend not getting any longer than 3 days. Thai Friendly has many. Just try all around and see what's for you. Just like buying cars at a used car lot. Yeah. Christopher, thanks for that explanation on Wise Peter. It's excellent for travelers who can use different currencies without trying to find currency exchanges, places, or deal with change. Well, of course, that was the beauty of having a Thai bank account if you're a tourist, because you could transfer money from your UK bank account or America, wherever you are, into your Wise, and you can keep that money there and trickle trickle pour money from your Wise account into your Bangkok bank as you need it. And when you go back home, you could empty your Wise account and keep a minimal amount in there to keep the account open. It's very handy for a lot of people who don't live here. Sajid, is it? Sajid Ali, thanks for the advice this week with a sportsman. Hope to be back in Thailand next year. Appreciate the info as always. Okay, thank you. Paul, you only live once. Peter, lovely to see you enjoying life, brings it home. Thanks, Paul. Christopher again, API, what is so special about seeing... okay, I'm not going to read that out. Luigi, daily rentals are best idea. Show up in the morning, a new model every morning. Yeah, congratulations. Not that she'll be listening to me. Congratulations, Thailand won Miss World in India. Beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Well, she must be else. She wouldn't have won Miss World, right? Dog, you're right, Peter. Smart decision. I would have done the same thing. Okay, thanks. I'm a bit of an old-fashioned guy, Richie. You say you should get a fitness watch thingy. I know exactly what they are. I've seen people with them. You know, measure how many steps you walk, how many calories you've had. I mean, they do all sorts of things, don't they? I mean, I'm old-fashioned. You know, I've got a tag here which I wear. I've got a couple of fake Rolexes which I don't really wear anymore, but I bought them because they look nice. I think I showed them to you before. That's quite a nice one. And I've got a Gucci which I'm gutted because I hit it and I chipped it. So old-fashioned. Stephen James, do they still do Angie old plastic for clogs? I don't know, Stephen. I mean, honestly, you'd have to go to a hospital and ask. Darcy, that's smart to get the dye put in and check the arteries. Well, that's the only way you can, because, you know, you have soft plaque and you have hard plaque. And I went to get my hard plaque checked, you know, how much hard plaque is in my arteries. And the doctor actually said, I'm not exaggerating. The doctor said, this is unbelievable, Peter. And I said, what? I thought he's going to tell me I'm due for a heart attack tomorrow. He said, I've never seen a man of your age have 0 come back on the report. You know, normally the percentage of hard plaque in somebody's veins at my age, there is something there, even if it's minimal, you know. And he said to me, he said, I've never come across a guy, I don't think he said I've never come across, but he basically said it was incredible. But I was speaking to my friend Steve, an American guy who was driving to work in America one day, and he had the same thing. He had the hard plaque test with minimal hard plaque, and he had a heart attack. And I'm like, Jesus, what happened? He says soft plaque. Well, the only way they can see it, I don't want to scare you guys, but the only way they can see it is if you have this ink pumped into your arteries, and they can actually see the arteries coming out the heart and everything. It's not guaranteed, you know, but look, I mean, I'm not a professional to give advice or anything like that, but just as an opinion, I'm allowed to have an opinion like everybody else. In my opinion, the best way to kind of avoid any serious illnesses, unless it is unavoidable, is just to try and be as healthy as you can, especially when you get older. You know, I mean, I drink, I don't smoke, I exercise every day. I try to eat as less processed food as I can, although it's difficult. Sometimes I like, you know, baked beans when I have scrambled eggs. That's highly processed food, isn't it? It's hard to completely cut it out. But yeah, you know, I eat a lot of eggs. I make my own burgers. I make shepherd's pies. I know what goes into the ingredients. When I was in the UK, I used to eat a lot of these frozen meals that you sling into the microwave, you know, and they're full of trans fat and, you know, sugars and horrible things, you know, very bad for your body. Kev, Peter, have you noticed many expats are leaving Thailand and moving back to their own countries or the Philippines? This is something that goes around on social media, Kev. I mean, the thing is, people come and go all the time. I mean, some guys on TikTok and Facebook and whatever, they're very dramatic, and they're like, oh, tourists are all leaving Thailand. You know, nobody wants to be in Thailand anymore. And that's just not true. Stephen, no, I didn't know Richard Hopkins or Bernard Hopkins. Swedish Globetrotter, the negative people who are angry with you, they certainly are simps that look in their own mirror. You know, people say I should just ignore them and block them, but I like answering them, actually, because a lot of them are kind of not very highly intelligent. And I'm not saying I'm like super clever, but when I read their comments, sometimes it's fun actually writing back to them. I try not to be nasty, but I try to kind of give an intelligent answer to what they're saying, you know. I shouldn't really, but it's kind of a sport for me, you know, dealing with trolls. Luigi, Peter, will there be more videos at other cities and locations after you move to Hua Hin? I'd like to do some more cities before I go to Hua Hin, actually, because Bangkok's a good central hub to go to places. I'm limited to how many days. I'm limited to how many days I can get away in a month. I don't want to give you the reason here. People who are in the member stream, they know the reason why. But yeah, I'd like to go to other cities, Udon Thani, and just lots of different cities, and make videos like I made in Hua Hin, because people like to watch those videos. I think Bangkok's been done to death now, has it? Bangkok and Pattaya, there's nothing you can film that's, people are going to think, wow, I've never seen that before. I mean, Pattaya is just saturated with videos about the bars, soy six. I mean, there's one guy down there, that's all he does. Soy six, soy six, soy six, the girls, this is happening, that's happening, this bar's up and that bar's closed. The girls are doing this. And it's like, Jesus Christ, give it a break. It's been done to death. It's been done to death. And Pattaya, I mean, Bangkok, some of the videos I've gone out and done where I've actually done real vlogging, where I've gone out and filmed something in Bangkok, they don't do many numbers. I've done videos like how to get from Nana down to the taxi station and take a river boat and go to ICOM, or I've done lots of kind of videos outside, but they don't really sort of, I think there's so many people doing it now. That's the problem. Hobbs's choice. Yes, exercise, diet, sleep, plenty of water is all we can do. Avoid a lot of fatty and processed food. I'm not sure what you mean there, Tully. He said, don't jinx it. I watched Final Decision 1 to 5 last night. I don't know what that is. Final Destination. I'm not reading it properly. Oh, yes, absolutely, Dutch. Kenneth Hill, you had a CT scan with contrast of the chest. Okay, I don't know. I had one on the brain when I first got here because I was getting busy. I'm a bit of a hypochondriac. Something happens, a little bit happens, I get a bit faint or something, and I get all hypochondriac, and I went and had a scan on my brain. It cost me 40,000 baht. I went to one of the top hospitals, and everything was normal. Total waste of money. Mr. Superstar, hello from Soy 11. Blimey, we could nearly shake hands with that close. Ricardo, how's the dental work at Times Square going, Pete? I found his work superb. My only issue was they quoted me one price and it was a completely different when I came to pay. A lack of transparency. I'm surprised at that. Really, really good. I mean, I had some dental work done. I had my teeth were like jaws previously, and I had all these. See, they're all veneers. Well, I had another 2 caps done here because I had them done 25 years ago, and I had a bit of pain, and they cost me 38,000 just those 2 caps. He took the old ones off, cleaned it all up, put it back right as rain. And a dentist in the UK told me she'd have to do surgery on me from in here, and load of rubbish. Really good, really good. It's saturated with bad quality, though. You're talking about YouTube videos, right? Nordic Thai Traveler, thank you for becoming a member. We'll see you in the member stream in about 20 minutes. AZ Peter, long-time follower and hardly ever comment. You're very honest in your reviews and vlogs and advice, entertaining. Thank you very much. It's nice to get a compliment. I do try my best, Wiggler, baked beans, that might be the reason why some Britons emigrated to America a long time ago. No, you know what? If you're British, you have baked beans. You can't have an English breakfast without baked beans. We have baked beans on toast. We have baked beans on baked potatoes. We have baked beans and scrambled egg. We have baked beans on a full English, on a half English. I mean, baked beans is a great British tradition. You got to have, even me, I live in Thailand. I buy baked beans. I don't eat them very often, maybe once every 2 weeks, but I do like my baked beans. I get the reduced sugar ones now. They're about 30% less sugar. Okay, get you up there. Right, Paul, beans on toast. What more do you want? And I'll tell you what else I've changed to as well. Yeah, absolutely, Paul. I used to eat a lot of margarine because I thought it was better for me, butter, cholesterol, and all that. So I've completely turned now. I've knocked margarine on the head, because you pick up a pack of margarine and it's all E numbers, trans fats, and crappy oil, and terrible. It's all chemicals, and engineered to look like butter. It's terrible. You pick up a pack of butter, it normally says dairy, some kind of dairy like milk and salt, something like that, or unsalted. Very minimal ingredients in butter, and I have butter on my toast now. I don't go anywhere near margarine. Robin, Saw the recent increase in Indian tourists causing many problems, fight scams, low something or other, and even cheat embargoes, etc. Do you think the Thais will take action? Yeah, the Thais have got a breaking point. You know, they're very, very forgiving. I've seen guys put their feet up and they kind of show the, you know, touch Thais on the head and stuff, and they're very forgiving. But the Thais, like everybody else, they've got a breaking point, and they will retaliate eventually. Hi Samuel, how you doing? Okay, Shane, Keg in Thailand used to make some good videos. I've never heard of him, Shane. But there's so many YouTubers in Pattaya now. Barry Bluebird, just think, Peter, when you move to Hua Hin, you can do a visit to Bangkok. Yeah, for sure. And I will. I just hope I don't regret it. Darcy, Soy 6 and Walking Street are no areas for me now. I'm in my mid-50s and I prefer Jomtien. I like Jomtien. But if I'm in Pattaya and I did want a night out, for me now, it's Soy Bacau, you know, because you don't get those crowds of peoples you already mentioned. And it's the kind of makeup of the people over there is different. It sounds really racist, but you know what I mean. I just prefer kind of LK Metro, Billabong Bar, Time Bar, those sort of places. The Beach Road is just, you know, tourist central now. It's, you know, big groups. Okay. We're nearly there, guys. Let me just try and read a couple more of these out before we go. Gary says, margarine is only one molecule short of being called plastic. Remember, it was invented during World War II. It's probably more healthy to eat the plastic tub it comes in. Damon, Peter, glad to see the 60-day on arrival is still on. Yeah, me too, Damon. Let's see if they change that. Darcy says, butter and extra virgin olive oil. Yeah, I use everything olive oil. They say it's not good for frying high temperature, but I use like really, you can get a liter of oil here in Thailand for like 80 baht, you know, but it's real cheap crap. I pay 500 baht for that real Italian virgin olive oil. It's imported, you know, I don't mind, you know, I use maybe one bottle every 3 months. Okay. I'm going to have to make this the last one, guys. So Dog says, Soy Bacau, LK Metro is definitely a good place. I met a nice girl there on New Year's Eve. I've met a nice girl there every time I've gone there. One more. I just left Thailand. No stamp on way out. Just scan and go. Yeah, it's easier to get out than it is getting in, isn't it? Right. We're nearly there, guys. Okay, right. If you're new to my channel, I do a member stream up. That will be kicking off in about 15 minutes. It's a little bit different to this stream. The first half of the member stream is similar to what you've just seen now. The second half, I've got some quirky news stories. I've got Spot the Ladyboy competition, Spot the Thai Girl competition. I've got Joke of the Week. I've got the Manga Minute, all new stuff. And that will be in about 15 minutes. But for the meantime, all the guys who have dropped a super chat for me tonight, thank you very much. Very generous, as always. Thank you to Damon. We haven't had Franco in tonight for moderating. And just to everybody else, I hope your weekend's going well. And I hope the rest of the week will be good for you. I'm going to scoot off now and use the bathroom, fill my water bottle. I might have a little nip before I come back, a cheeky one. And if you're a member, I'll see you in 15 minutes. If not, I'll be around and I'll be letting the videos, releasing videos as always. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good week.